Yeah, I hope I sleep good tonight. What a interesting few days, and I can't say this, it's probably one of the 5 to 10 best ones I've been a part of. The trials and tribulations and unknown and all of that, and I'm not trying to make any excuse or anything, but Joey Bays asked me before the game who I was starting at the 44-minute mark. I said, I don't know yet. And that's a really bad feeling as a ball coach. And so this group took a huge step tonight in being connected, in being together. I had not seen Jacob Grandison since we got home from Kansas City. He has been in bed. I have not seen him until he walked in today for shoot around. Trent Frazier has not practiced, had no idea that he was going to play. Fletch does a deal called with force plates that he's got thousands and thousands of points of data that he jumps on, and those tell you where your strength's at, where your energy's at, and those numbers were good, so they determined he could play. Benjamin Verdonk was sick. Paul Schmidt walked in today and told me that Austin was out, throwing up, and was out. So I said I'm going to start R.J. Melendez in shoot around today. He rolls an ankle, and literally at the time I think he thought he might have to have it amputated. After 30 minutes of thinking that he was fine, but I went into this thing thinking Coleman might have to play major minutes. Obviously that went south in a couple minutes. But DeMonte Williams, I couldn't start the second half because he was in the toilet throwing up. And he played the entire night sick. The entire night. And I cannot say enough about DeMonte Williams. He is the adhesive that has been holding us together. He has played every position. He has been in every practice. He is tougher than hell. And has done anything that it takes for us to win. He's not going to let anything like a little flu bug stop him. And but that stuff becomes contagious. And then to play Trent 31 or 32 minutes, I didn't really plan on that. So we can sit here and talk about Plummer and Kofi. We beat a veteran, very good Notre Dame team today with a lot of adversity, and I hope this becomes something that we can really wrap our arms around and build. Tomorrow's an off day, which we need, and hopefully we can get healthy as we enter Big Ten play on Friday.
Joey?
Brad, with Trent, he's got the shoulder thing going on, and the knee, at least he's battling multiple ailments or soreness. So what's that say about him to go out there and play? And did he kind of add to that? You called him soft and chest caved in yesterday. Was he somebody who could flip that?
Well, I'm never going to call Trent Frazier soft. Trent's a dog. I mean, Trent's man. That you talk about the ultimate competitor, and he hates missing practice. He hates anything that he can't compete to win at, and he literally walked in the coach's locker room and said, "Coach, I'm good for 35 tonight if you need me." And man, don't you love that as a coach? That makes your heart feel pretty good when you know you've got a guy like that ready to line it up and go, because that was his mindset.
Coach, still playing without your starting point guard, but you did have as a team, they had 19 assists on 28 made baskets. How big of a step was that, offensively from the execution standpoint?
Once we got out of the first 4 minutes, it was great. I think we had 5 turnovers the first 4 minutes. And a couple of those were, illegal screens and a charge, but yeah, it's a huge step. I mean, we've got to get, we've got one of those dominant players in college basketball in Kofi, and we've got to give him opportunities to get balls on the rim. And when we do that, we're going to give ourselves a chance a lot of nights because he's a high percentage guy. So again, we don't turn it over, that's growth.
Matt?
Brad, Kofi's first 4 games, his minutes have been 27, 32, 38, and 32. I know you say he's been on the treadmill, but what does that kind of say about him that he's been able to instantly come in and play that kind of load like you, I'm sure, hoped for, but the treadmill's a lot different than game conditioning.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And I think he was tired tonight. And Kofi didn't feel great either. He was another one that was set down, but at halftime and, you know, had to kind of gather himself. He's really stopped up and hadn't felt great. But again, I think the one thing we've got to keep pushing him to is playing through that. I thought late he took a couple hard shots because they were easy. And again, I'm never going to not push Kofi, so I'm not going to tell him he was great and you're in great shape and this and that, so I'm going to keep pushing those buttons, but he's doing a lot, and I thought it's, you know, anytime Kofi doesn't have 10 rebounds, I'm going to tell him his motor's not good enough, so.
Mike Bray came in here, Brad, and just kind of was in awe of Kofi, but he also talked about how, you know, open everything up for your shooters. Was this kind of offensively a night of what you guys are capable of once everyone starts to get on the court?
Yeah, I've said I love this team and what this team can be. All this is a hiccup. This is one of those adversity speed bumps that grow you up, and is that the right way? They make you grow up, and it's the end game. I love this team. And opportunities provided. RJ stepped up and makes 2. Luke Goody's proved it tonight again. And, you know, Jacob Grandison could shoot it. You know, everybody forgets DeMonte was the second leading three-point shooter in the country last year. He hasn't had those opportunities because of where we've been playing him. And, you know, then he steps up the first play and knocks one down. And so I think that this team could be downright scary. You know, when all the pieces are back, because we can pick your poison with what we do with, you know, with how you want to go with Kofi.
Yeah.
Coach, to come in here yesterday and essentially challenge your team by calling them soft, and then to see them respond the way they did tonight, how proud of them, or how proud of you are them for that?
Yeah, that's what I told them in the locker room. I'm extremely proud. You know, you gotta. It's not easy. It's not easy to fight maybe a lack of confidence, fight maybe unknown. You know, you're playing a high major, very good team on national television. It's a great example when your veterans step up and do what they did and play like that. And that's the example, that's the culture, that's the fight that it's got to be every single night.
Scott?
Kofi talked about just the composure down the stretch. Shots aren't following, Notre Dame's hanging around. What did you see from your team that maybe allowed them to close this one out the way they did?
Yeah, just, you know, I mean, it wasn't perfect, that's for sure. You know, there was a couple scouting report mistakes in there, but yeah, again, you've got to take advantage of the opportunity. You got to make free throws. We did that. I thought that, you know, I was concerned the first half because, you know, our free throw attempts were nil. You know, and then to get to the line and make them down the stretch, that's what good teams have to do. And we got the ball to the spots we wanted to get it to and who we wanted to get it to. Trent, you know, had a late travel and a little play we ran, but beyond that, I thought we got the ball where we needed to.
Rob?
In past years, we've had media availabilities that have been on the same day that the team got its flu shot. So we know that they get a flu shot every year. When did they have their flu shots this year?
Ooh, September?
Yeah.
September maybe?
It was like early September, mid to early September. Go ahead,
Coach, expanding on what you were saying on the last question, Coach Bray kind of changed their defense up a little bit in the second half and contested shots and got really aggressive with Kofi. You had a little bit of a lull there offensively. How do you think the team handled that, particularly down the stretch?
Yeah, I looked out there once and I had RJ and Luke had Plummer out, Kofi out, and I'm like, where are we gonna score? You know, I think that's where I've ultimately gotta get to. I've gotta figure those things out, how we're going to score in those moments. And yet we found a way to actually make a couple baskets. But it's again, we're so different now, Doug, than we have been. I mean, we've done so much with ball screens all year long. And you know, there's hardly any tonight. And you know, that's you know, switching midstream, I guess. But you know, we're doing some good things. But again, I'm really pleased because we're getting the ball where we need to get it, and those guys are not afraid to take shots and make them.
So Trent comes into the coach's locker room, says he's good for 35. Do you remember about your general reaction? Are you skeptical? Obviously, there's probably a level of excitement. What was that like?
No, when Trent tells you he's good, that's a really good feeling. You know, you know, when Trent hurt his shoulder, he fought the doctors to play. I mean, he said, you're not sitting me out, I'm playing. That's Trent. You know, and you know, then you have to have those conversations that hey, this is in your best interest. When we knew this one, it was just a matter of him, you know, being in a position where it was strong and great, and man, but that's Trent Frazier to the T now. He knows his game count is dwindling quick, and they go fast, and he's going to take advantage of all of them.
He said yesterday that Trent on Saturday was going about half mile an hour on the bike. Just between then and him coming into the office to say, I'm good to go, like what type of treatment was he getting? Just what got him to that place?
Well, he's lived with Fletch and Paul. You know, it's not just been, you know, go stick your bag of ice on your knee, and you know, it's been, I know Fletch left today. There's been a ton of massage, getting the swelling out. There's been a lot of recovery and therapy. You know, he's done a bunch of bike work. He's done some work, you know, on what's called an Alter G, is kind of a gravity treadmill that takes some of your body weight off. So, you know, it's just been a process to see then how it reacts to all of that, and does it swell back up. So, and then, you know, once that does, how much strength does he lose? Because we're never going to put him out there if he's not capable of being close to 100%.
Along those lines, Brad, is there any update on Andre, what he's going through right now?
No, nothing. Everything is he's continuing to work through his situation, and it progresses day by day. So we'll I don't have a timetable. I don't know. Tomorrow will be another day, and another opportunity for him to get better.
And he was in concussion protocol. Is he back in that? Is this roughly the same thing? Okay.
No.
Scott?
I mean, you don't play again until Friday. I mean, just how do you plan to treat the rest of this week with maybe some guys getting, not over the flu bug, maybe dealing with it like Monte? Just what's the plan this week?
Yeah, I mean, we'll fall into our normal 2-day prep. Tomorrow will be off, which we need. We haven't had one in quite some time. So, you know, I hope it's a day that gives them a day to, you know, really sleep in, really get on their academic stuff, handle that, and then literally just rest. And mentally as much as physically, along with, you know, their treatments. And you know, guys get dings and bruises, and you know, there's a lot of physical and mental therapy that goes on in that training room. So, you know, we'll see them all tomorrow. They'll all be over, unless they are sick in bed. And we just, you know, we'll get them to the docs and get them treated.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Thank you.